is called Birds. I wrote it for a friend who is unfortunately not around anymore. Helps to have heard the story of Noah's Ark here. Some find their meaning in the ones that they love. Some need a cosmic puzzle to solve. Some birds return with a branch from the olive. Others get lost watching the earth revolve. And some find their solace in beautiful sounds. Some build it on metaphysical grounds. And some birds return in a voice from the clouds. Others get lost in the muttering crowds. You used to look like a prophet back when we were young, being fed by a raven beneath a tree in the sun. And roses and swords were both your native tongue, harmless when a serpent and wise when a dove. Well, some in all honesty never have doubts. Some fight the angel from the cradle throughout. Some birds return with a leaf in the mouth. Others seek sunlight and keep flying south. Some long to be holy yet plunder and kill. Some are nearly born saints yet never so will. And some birds return to perch on the sill. Others are wandering o'er the flood still. When I heard they found you face down in a pond, it was hard to believe your old soul could be gone. And I wept with the rest, but the earth only yawned. It swallowed you whole and then meandered on. And some will return to perch on the sill. Others are wandering o'er the flood still. Okay, let's do About As True. Each little thing is a million things, and who can say what's underneath? In quiet stillness we best perceive that everything moves and everything screams. Well, that's about as true as a compass stuck on a fridge. Well, the world's about as true as a compass stuck on a fridge. But you know, and I do too, why we have to believe that it is. Well, you say you wouldn't trade it for anyone, that there's no tune you'd have rather sung. You say you don't forget anything, and you don't regret anything. Well, that's about as true as the fact that I'm an autumn in Prince. But I understand, I do, why you have to believe that it is. Red in tooth and red in claw, chaos swimming beneath these laws. Well, the cracks are widening and the slack run out, and the facts are frightening, and the good in doubt. Oh, this world's about as true as the singing of a marionette. But you know, and I do too, why we have to believe that it's not too far gone just yet. Well, I don't forget anything, and I regret almost everything, and that might be as true as the fact that I'm here thinking this thought. Understand, please do, why I have to believe that it's not. I wrote that in August 2024. Next up is one I played on the last video I did, which I wrote, the most recent song I wrote it in March, I guess, maybe April, I don't remember now. It's called I've Never Loved a Thing. I'll try not to mess up the timing so much like I have on these last ones. It's all feeling very strange to me, but that's okay. Not really, but all you want is a soul and a ring. All I have is a song I can sing. Let me start that over. All you want is a soul and a ring, and all I have is a song I can sing. And if I loved anyone, it'd be you, it'd be you. But I've never loved a thing. Well, I felt my heart take on wings, and I felt how its brokenness stings. And if I loved anyone, it was you. by you on the porch swing, and I laughed with you all the evening. And if I loved anyone in the world, it was you. But I've never loved a thing. Well, I'd take your part against kings, and I'd take all the arrows they'd sling. And if I loved anyone in the world, it'd be you. But I've never loved a thing. I kept you warm when the snow came falling, and I danced with you all through the spring. And if I loved anyone, it was you, it was you. But I've never loved a thing. All you want is a soul for to cling. All I have are some boards and some strings. But if I loved anyone in the world, it'd be you. If I were to die for a girl, it'd be you. For I like you most of all the girls in this world. But I've never loved a thing. Okay, this next one I wrote in February or March, I can't remember. It's called Sorrow Laundering. Been in addicts all my life long, to games I can't win and to puzzles I can't solve. It's some kind of sick fascination to find myself in impossible situations, and this one is one of those. I'm a deep sea fish reaching for a desert rose. I'm a parking lot hoping that a garden grows. I'm me and you're you, and I never get through even if I divide it by 0. Well, you don't like me much, but I promise you this: if you knew me better, you'd like me even less. If you could just see what goes on in my thoughts, I think you'd personally lead the firing squad. But even though I wouldn't agree, I'm so flawed, I'd assume I deserve it for something. This song just needs to but I think you're my twin, and I ought to sue you for copyright infringement. But I'm sure at the court you'd have this winning defense. My best is just your floor. You do all I do and more. You're improved at the core, so I'd best be out the door with my obsolescence. But you don't know the thing you've offered. For a moment, my sadness has an object. Before this, it hung shapeless as fog upon me. Now it's fenced in a daydream that I can keep and smother by slow degrees. And I guess you call that sorrow. So even if it'd been in your mind, and even if there were enough time, and even if it's true what I swear I have seen, what you'd have to do would split you at the seams. It'd never be worth the risk. A dream gamble for such as this, just come clean. A daydream is all this is. Some scene in a movie I probably saw as a stupid kid. Well, I'm sure you can tell most of this is an act. It can all go to hell. As a matter of fact, if I even thought this one could be solved, if I even thought there existed the cards, if I even thought I had something you want, I'd ruin my life for those lottery odds. Could definitely have played that one better. In any case. Yikes. Here's one that I don't know if I can remember the lyrics from. It's called Carved into Rocks. Started writing it last June, finished it in December. Well, I never meant to be so long away from thee, that I ever left at all. Well, that's my shame. But I can't return now. I was out here all this while, and I don't want you seeing what I became. There were things I swore I'd do, cities I'd march through, all in the name of love I'd bear a sword. And And I carved through all that's true, all you made beautiful, torn through, when all I meant to cut was my own cord, and made my dream of what I've won, the righteous carnage that I've done. But it wasn't for the sake of any Lord. I went to the mountain top, had your laws carved into rocks, and I brought them to the world on your behalf. And for a while things improved, but the grass grew round the grooves, and in the end, just another epitaph. So have I just wandered around, listening for the sound of any angels calling out my name? And I kept kicking the can across this barren stretch of land, because so many others joined my game. So was it real to me alone? These talking trees, these bleeding stones, even my memory, I cannot be sure. You know, even on the peaks, even by the seas, I can't see or hear you anymore. But now I hear we're getting close to that place of which I think you spoke. The kids say we've practically arrived. So despite all my doubts, it seems there was some substance to my dreams. But when I close my eyes to sleep tonight, that dream will be leaving me behind. So was this the brilliant plan? Blood all over my hands, and passed out at the near end of the race. And is there something for me after this? Is there even quiet nothingness as my sons march on without me through the gates? I come back to you again, I'm just waiting on the wind. So many times I've made it halfway home, but I'm a lifetime from your shore. Hope you'll part the water just once more, 'cause I can't hardly crawl in these cold bones. Okay, we'll end on a cheerier note. Wrote this in November. I don't remember. It's a classic loser anthem. I love loser anthems. They're great. A la Spiritualized. Beck, of course, is the obvious one. Modest Mouse type of songs. Called Going Nowhere. Mess of things, and not the kind in which you dine, but I haven't failed at everything. There's still some things that I haven't tried. How sad a spectacle is it to try to keep indifferent friends. It feels like half my life's been spent trying to loose up tight ends, and I'm going nowhere, but that is nothing new. Guess I was sorta hoping maybe I could go with you, 'cause I'm going nowhere, just like I've always been. Would you like to be on my team, even if we never win? And I might be unlikable, but I'm also cold at heart. And I might not be that handsome, but I'm also not that smart. They told me I need gravitas. Well, of this they can be sure. I've been falling on my face and ass since I first started misunderstanding words. And I'm going nowhere, but that is nothing new. Guess I was sorta hoping this time I could go with you. And I'm going nowhere, and I'm leaving soon. First thing when I wake up at 3 in the afternoon. Now I feel like a jack-o'-lantern, a big old toothy pumpkin. Got a head full of flickering lights, but no executive function. And you've been doing so much for years, now you're finally doing nothing. Our roads are not quite parallel, so I'm hoping for an eventual junction. I'm going nowhere, but that is nothing new. Guess I was sorta hoping maybe I could go with you, 'cause I'm going nowhere, and I've got no trust fund.